Alright, how's it going, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great, what's today, Tuesday? No, it's Monday, so it's probably not going so hot because it's Monday for all us working people, but I hope you're all having a good time. Just wanted to start a new kind of video series that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's going to be called Nostalgia Stories, and we're just gonna, go take a look at least for myself, the games that I kind of grew up with, the games that really made me who I am today, and just talk about the good times we had. I think that's one of the greatest things about video games is, especially for those of us that grew up with them and then the people that are growing up with them right now, this is going to be a big deal for you. So I just wanted to go over my favorite games and kind of what melded me into what I am today. And if you couldn't tell so far what the game is of today, it is gonna be RuneScape. For those of you who have not played RuneScape, RuneScape is an MMORPG. It's been around since I think 1998 or 1999 when the game first released. I forget when the evolution of combat came out exactly, but that was a big break in the game, and it went from RuneScape to RS3, and that went so poorly that they ended up coming out with old school RuneScape, which is what I am on currently, because the original game just is not the same anymore, and this is more of the feels I get for the nostalgia, just kind of hanging out before even this place existed. I used to play, when I was in 4th grade is when I started, and it was 2002, I think, so that was the first event that I can remember. And for any of you who played in 2002, you'll know that the Easter event that year was the Easter egg event. That is, I don't know how much Easter eggs are right now anymore on RS3, but they were one of those limited time items that you could get a ton of that were worth a lot. I mean, the last time I played, before RS3 broke everything, they were like hundreds of mils, so, my noob self, I was like 7, having a grand old time playing RuneScape. I used them as food, like the dummy I was, because I was like, wow, dude, I could do this event and get all this free food and then use that to train. Oh my god, what a steal. I mean, I thought I was like next gen again. Sorry, I turned the volume down a little bit. So I wasted all that, and it's just one of the many things that I missed out on from not understanding scarcity and what those types of items are going to be worth eventually. But I love playing RuneScape so much. It was the first MMORPG I ever played, and also the first computer game that I ever played, so it definitely holds a special place in my heart. I learned a lot about, the world, honestly. I got scammed a ton. Lots of good stuff like that. Scammed all the time. I met a lot of cool friends, met a lot of good people. The social interaction is so much different now in online video games. It's kind of insane how different the games are nowadays, and how, I don't want to say little interaction there is, but you don't get to do things the same way that you used to. You have Dungeon Finder and stuff like that nowadays, and the more modern MMORPGs. You don't hear in old school RuneScape, but there are groups, I'm pretty sure, that you can find for these kinds of things, and there's like friends chats, and I think there's just clan chats. I don't think there's friend chats anymore. Yeah, I think it's just clan chats. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's just clan chats now. There used to be friends chats. There's friends chats and there's clan chats, so you could be in a clan and you could be in an FC. You just have to change the amount of wax you put to talk in either one. But now there's like, more coordinated things, and with better access to the internet, it's a lot easier to look up guides and stuff like that. I remember playing I don't want to say no one knew what to do, but I definitely didn't know what to do. So that Easter event was definitely the highlight of one of my careers on RuneScape. And then one of the other things I really just like vividly remember was dicing. Dicing came out, not sure if you know what dicing is, but it's basically just gambling. There used to be an item called the dice bag. You could roll 2 die, and it was 0 to 100, and so you would do, normally people did 55 times 2, so if you get above, or you get a 55 or above, they would double your money. And if you didn't, they got to keep it. That's the whole thing of gambling. There was like huge clans that were just like centered around dicing. I remember Diamonds was one. And sometimes people just scammed you, and sometimes you actually won. It's definitely my first taste of gambling in video games for sure. That was such an intense time. I remember I got scammed by one of my really close friends in the game, obviously. So always always understand that people that are in games might not be your actual friends, and if they have some benefits that they can take from you, they might steal it from you. So just be wary. But yeah, you know, I got scammed for like 300 mil, I think it was. I was supposed to win a Santa and all this interesting stuff. It was a sad day, but that was back when people actually kind of cared, and you know, I told my clan and they got it all back for me. But I never got that Santa hat. I was very sad about that. Because RuneScape eventually turned into Fashionscape, just looking good. This person that's standing behind me is a good example. This one right here. They're probably someone that just came back to the game because they got their full bandos on. They got jack and boots though, so they can't be that good. But Fashionscape was a blast. This guy up here is pretty cool. I don't know what armor set that is. I wonder if it's Torva. It's Santa Claus though. But gosh, I had such a fun time playing this game. So I'm trying to think of one other thing. It would probably be trying to lure people. Luring is the act of like trying to trick someone to coming into a PvP zone and then having like a bunch of your friends log in and try and kill them as fast as possible. I never used like Skype or TeamSpeak or anything like that, so I was never super coordinated with my friends because, I mean, there's clans that used to like all be in TeamSpeak or Skype waiting, and they'd be like logged out in a certain location, and once they tricked you and finally got you to whatever location they wanted you to stand in, they would all log in and kill you. And that's how you lose a lot of stuff. Definitely a learning curve on figuring out that, you know, people on the internet kind of scary. But I remember when Discord finally came out, that's when I finally really got into stuff like that. And I mean, RuneScape was already kind of dying at that time, but OSRS was, I think, around sometime the same time. And so we would always try and trick people to walking into the wild or like going and hunting bots and stuff like that. It was a ton of fun. I think the last thing that really stuck with me is when RuneScape implemented the trade limit. I don't remember what year it was, but they implemented a trade limit so they could try and prevent like real world trading basically. It didn't work, obviously. People are much smarter than that. But it was really funny because if you were friends with someone, you'd have a bigger trade limit. So fresh accounts only had a 25k trade limit. And if you were friends with someone for like several years, they were on your friends list for a while, you would have a bigger trade limit basically. So it's like, I know some of my friends, we had like a 200k trade limit. It was crazy. But I remember that I did a clue scroll and I got a gilded plate skirt. Back then, gilded was like 15 mil. But since the game actually set all the prices, at least in the beginning, Gilded was like, I don't know, maybe like 80k on the Grand Exchange. And so you couldn't really sell these things in the Grand Exchange, otherwise you'd end up getting scammed. It didn't really matter how rare something was. They didn't really like think about that when they put the prices up. And so it was really sad because I had to go and catch like 14,000 swamp lizards, because for whatever reason, swamp lizards were worth like 1.8k each. And so whenever you would trade something that was like of high value, it would always have a ton of a trash item basically. But you always had to farm those yourself, because obviously you don't want to go spend your money on a trash item to trade something that then you lose, you know, you lose money. So I had to go and catch like 14 freaking thousand of these swamp lizards just so I could sell this skirt. And by the time I think I was done catching all those guys, because I didn't really play that much, I could only play a couple hours when I was younger, I think they took the trade limit, they got rid of it. It was a sad time. Oh yeah, and I remember when they got rid of the wild. That was sad. I enjoyed it a little bit because they had those PvP worlds. So if you knew what you were doing, you could go and like kill bots basically, because there was worlds that didn't have level caps. So you could go and kill like level 3s or level 4s and stuff like that. And those accounts would actually, if they had no items, they would still drop items based off your skill levels. And so you could go and, you know, kill these level 3s as like a level 40 or a 50 or something, and you could get like 30k each time you killed one. So I'd always go and farm people. It's kind of like training. Obviously, you get sniped occasionally, but yeah, that's just the risk you take when you're doing stuff like that. Oh, the last thing. If any of you guys played when Dragon Claws were released, Dragon Claws were like amazing. They were so busted on release. They were so strong. You know, you needed them to be a lure or like to be a PK, or you needed that as your spec weapon if you really wanted to do it. But obviously, you know, it's high risk, high reward. I think they were like 34 mil when I bought them. I got lured by one of like my closest friends in the game. Once I got those claws, he brought me out somewhere. He had all his friends log in, and I died, and I lost those things within I think the first hour that I got them. Probably one of the most depressing moments in my life on this game. I think I quit after that for at least like a month or two. Very, 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 very sad. That was when I knew that PKing wasn't for me, and I never did any PKing ever again. Just not worth it. That was a sad, sad time, but that's about it. I want to try and keep these a little short, just because I could probably talk endlessly about this stuff. But, like, if you guys think this is kind of, you know, a cool concept, I plan on going over, like, my first console is a PS2. So I'm going to go over a lot of PS2 games. I have a lot of really good memories from those, like Jak and Daxter series, Ratchet and Clank, Kingdom Hearts, even Gran Turismo, as lame as that is. I have a lot of feelings towards a lot of those games, so I kind of want to do these maybe like once or twice a week. If you guys have any games that you have a lot of nostalgia for, or any like RuneScape stories, definitely let me know down below, and if it kind of works out enough, I'll definitely make more videos commenting on your guys' comments, just because I think that's probably one of the best things about video games, is this thing that brought us all together, especially those of us that, like, you know, we were 7 or 8 like 20 years ago, kind of before video games were really that popular, but as they were starting to ramp up. And, you know, back then you were just like a loser for playing video games. No one really understood it. And now obviously it's pop culture, and a lot of people, almost everyone plays it. I mean, even to the people that don't talk about video games probably play Warzone or something like that, you know? And so for those of us that kind of grew up playing these things, it holds such a big part in your life. At least it does for me. I mean, obviously I'm making YouTube videos about video games when I'm in my 20s and I work full time. I still like go out of my way to make stuff like this. So if you guys have stories, like, definitely let me know. Even if you don't want to comment it, send me a message or something, and let's talk about it, because I just love talking about these things. This is definitely, like, you know, I'll be working, I do IT stuff, and I'll play 3 hours of relaxing RuneScape music just because it makes me feel better. Or the Kingdom Hearts 2 soundtrack and Kingdom Hearts 1 soundtrack, oh, they're just bangers, you know? And so, I mean, these are things that I come back to all the time. I did a 36-hour stream one time playing through every single Jak and Daxter game. Just, I beat them all straight, no sleep. And, like, these are just the things that I think about all the time. They're such a big part of my life, big part of who I was. So I'd love to hear more stories from you guys and how video games have kind of changed your life. So let me know down below. Go ahead and like the video, or just comment that you enjoy this type of idea, and I'll definitely look into making more of them. I'll probably make more anyways, just because I like talking about this stuff, but it's always nice to have a conversation. So as always, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I will get this up as soon as I can, and I will see you guys on the next video.